Would you actually do the running?
Yes.
Oh,
I really, really want to.
I don't know. You'd be like one of these proper tourists, mate. Like, I don't know. Really?
Hi, diddly ho, Messinarino, and welcome back to the Hispanophiles podcast, Travel in Spain with only half a brain. This is the podcast where everything is served hot, except for tomato soup. On today's episode, we are dreaming big and living large, and we are giving you the ultimate top 10 activities you need to do here in Spain before you shuffle off your mortal coil, to quote the legendary Shakespeare. That's right, it's the ultimate bucket list of cultural activities to do here in Spain. But first and foremost, we're going to say hello to our fantastic guest of the episode. I'm looking into the beautiful brown eyes of my good friend Alex, my long separated twin at birth. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm very, very good, James. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here today.
That's the enthusiasm I want to see. Third episode, you know what the tradition is when we have someone come for their first episode, right?
No, tell me. I'm excited to hear this as well. What is it? Sounds apprehensive.
There is nothing. I just wanted to see what you would come out with. So
don't say that. Come on. Yeah.
We can make it a tradition.
Yeah, let's think of something.
Shot of ratafia.
What on earth is ratafia?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. We discussed this, I think it was episode 8.
Yeah.
The Spanish City Top Trips episode with our mutual friend Angelique.
Yeah.
She has spent a lot of time living in Catalonia, and ratafia was her choice of drink to represent Girona. It's not a spirit, it's not a liquor. About 25% proof. I've never tried it. We're going to be doing some more video content next year in which we try Spanish food and drink to a greater degree, and we're going to get some ratafia. So from now, let's say 5 episodes. When you do 5 episodes, you get a shot of ratafia with me. How about that?
I love it. And I also think I quite like the idea of doing this podcast a little bit tipsy. Get me, you, Angelique, one of the other geezers on. We'd start doing some shots, see if we carry on with the theme or we just end up wasted and chatting, which is what about half his podcast is anyway.
Angelique, I trust implicitly with anything.
Okay.
The girl knows what she's doing. She's a hard worker. She's fun. She's honest. Silvano, love the guy. I'm not going to trust him with my with the keys to my house. Jessica has one sip of cava and she's wasted. So
to be fair, I'd probably be in her camp as well. I was thinking earlier, do you have a phrase for the people who listen to the podcast, like Hispanophiles people?
A way to describe them?
Yeah.
Hispano babies?
Hispano?
That sounds really patronising.
That's a bit weird, yeah. Hello, Hispano babies. Welcome to the podcast.
In comments, give us a name. What would you collectively like to know yourselves as?
Yeah, it'll not be, I'm a Hispanophile.
A Hispanophile, yeah, that works.
I know, and it's just a bit basic, isn't it? I don't know. I just feel like also people freak out whenever they hear the word file on the end.
Philia is just the Greek word for a love or an interest in something.
I know it, but there's a lot of people out there who don't, so I think you need to clarify.
Well, that's why we're educating people.
There we go. This is an education podcast. Yeah. There we go. I love
it. We learned also in the episode with Angelique,
mm-hmm.
Hispano, apparently, one etymology of the word Spain and Hispanum is the country of rabbits, the land of rabbits, because it was the Phoenicians who came to Spain and first discovered the rabbit.
What?
So the Phoenician word for Spain was Ishipanim or something,
okay,
which meant the land of rabbits. Therefore, fast forwarding 6,000 years or whatever it is, Hispanophiles means rabbit lovers.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What a crazy fact. So that's where the Spain comes from.
It's one theory.
Well, I hope it's true because I'm definitely stealing that one for like the fun facts random night. Yeah. Quiz night whenever I find it.
Easy way to chat up a girl in Razzmatazz or in Apollo.
In a Spanish bar.
There we go. Shall we move on to our regular segments?
Let's do it. Let's see what's going to come up next.
Shall we start with some Spanish news?
So, I don't know if you've read a little bit about this Catalan language in the EU. Spain is trying to push that Catalan, Euskera, and Galicia become official languages of the EU. Obviously, they would push this in a political, from my understanding, when they had to create their, what do you call it when multiple parties get together? Coalition. Obviously, the Catalans that supported them were like, well, if we're going to support you now to become the big boys in Spain, these are the things that we want. You're going to push for us that Catalan is going to become an official language of the EU. Now, on the other side, obviously, the EU, some member states of the EU are pushing back. Places like Cyprus with Turkey, Latvia with Russian, who've got these smaller communities of people who have their own independent languages. But of course, they don't want the smaller communities maybe to be kind of represented from a political aspect. And therefore, it's going on right at the moment. And I don't know what the situation as of today is, but that's what the debate is going on. If Spain can get Spanish Catalan and Galician to be an official language of the EU. In the news I was reading, Catalan, even though it's 27 or 28 member states at the moment, if Catalan went in, it would be the 14th most spoken language already.
In terms of native
people who speak
speakers.
It, yeah. So yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's about 7 million native speakers of Catalan, which spreads across Catalonia, the Balearic Islands, and Valencia, quote unquote, because obviously a lot of people in Valencia see the language as Valencian in its own right.
Yeah.
I'll let that's a topic for another day. But I read actually the other day that in 2004, the EU, I think it was the European Commission, created some kind of, not certification, but accreditation for the Valencian language, and the whole of Catalonia went, what? It's
really?
Catalan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Because they hadn't done it for the Catalan, they'd only done it for Valencian.
No, they had done for Catalan, but then
okay.
Going one step and saying Valencian is its language in its own right, kind of irritated Catalonians who just see it as their language with a few funny spellings.
Yeah.
But
I wonder actually, is English still technically a language of the European Parliament, of the EU, should I say, anymore? I guess so. I'm sure it must be, though. But I wonder, technically, no native country now speaks English natively. Well, Ireland, to be fair, but they've got Gaelic, so I wonder if Gaelic is. Well, anyway, maybe a conversation for another day.
We're both enthusiasts of language. We're also linguophiles, so yeah.
That's some strong words there. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to just throw in a little question. How much do you think it would cost to make Catalan an official language of the EU? Think of all the brochures, the translators, if you had to guess.
Per year, per day? What do you mean?
Let's say just the cost of to set it up.
£200.
200 quid. Oh, and you're doing it in pounds, not even in euros. Yeah, no, they're going to be loving you in Brussels. From what I read, I think it's like 100 million euros or something. And Spain said they would cover the majority of it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
There you go. Money well spent.
We'll get there one day. We'll do an episode on Catalanism and the question of independence and sovereignty. We'll get there eventually. But
interesting one.
And you need to give me time to do the research. But okay.
That's
an excellent segment. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
Moving on to Spanish vocabulary. And a very simple one today, something I've had to look up in the past 2 weeks. I will give it to you right now. What do you think the English version of fiebre de heno is? Fiebre de heno.
Like February?
No, F-I-E-B-R-E. Fiebre.
So fiber?
No.
Fever?
There we go.
Fever, okay. January fever?
De heno.
I have no idea what the heno
Hay
is.
fever.
Then Heno.
H-E-N-O.
I should look into that one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't suffer from hay fever, so I can call. That's why I don't know the phrase for it.
Neither have I ever.
Yeah.
Except this year.
Oh, yeah?
It has struck me down the past couple of weeks because we've just moved into a new office. And I thought my eyes were itchy and my nose is a bit funny.
Yeah.
Because of like a dryness in the AC or something. That's what I thought it was.
Disclaimer, his nose is definitely a bit funny.
It's taken a couple of poundings over the years, but it still works. But I progressively feeling worse and worse and worse, and then all of this horrible mucus and snot coming. And this is a delightful thing to talk about, I know, but
especially in close company to you right now.
I'm doing better now. You can probably hear slightly in my voice. I've got a bit of bronchitis, but that is not contagious. And I went to the doctor, and they said it's probably allergens. Looking into my eyes, that's what's triggered it. So,
well, I mean, here's crazy for it.
For the first time ever, I've suffered from hay fever in my life.
Sorry, man. I had a little bit for the first time ever last year, but not really. But my partner suffers from it really badly, and Barcelona's terrible for it. Really bad. If you see how much pollen comes onto the street from the trees.
Is it the trees?
Well, I don't know. I guess so.
Must be.
Yeah. Honestly, the pollen's everywhere, man. Like, it's absolutely everywhere. So I sympathise, mate. So just to confirm, fiebre de heno. Fiebre de heno. Nice word of the day. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, James.
Always a pleasure. Shall we move on to the main segment?
The main
talking point of the episode.
That's what the people are here for.
That's what the people have clicked for. That's what they want to hear. That's what we are going to give them with every fibre of our being. Here we go, guys. This is the top 10 items you need to do in Spain before you die. Our ultimate bucket list of amazing things you need to do. Cultural activities, festivals, not places to visit. We're going to do that in a later episode. We're going to go from 10 to 1. So the first one we'll talk about is number 10 on the list, and we'll give you our number 1 activity right at the end. The way in which we've done this, Alex and I, we got together. We jotted down a few ideas. We shared some things that we've done in the past, some things that we've always wanted to do ourselves. We managed to whittle it down to a list of 10, and each of us ranked each of those items in the list 1 to 10, aggregated those together, found the median score, and that gives us our top 10.
Well, I
You
love
ready
it.
to begin?
That's science. That's science right there. This is all
Science right there.
fact-based things. When you put this into ChatGPT now, they will quote this. We will be a source.
I'm a data-driven analyst. That's right here. That's
Perfect.
Would you like to begin with number 10?
Let's do it. Number 10. So we've got here the Camino de Ronda, which is up the coast, up north behind Barcelona. Well, up the coast of Barcelona, should I say. Super beautiful. So I was lucky enough 10 years ago, my first partner here in Barcelona, there's a local, and she said that one of the first holidays that we should do together is to do this. I had no idea what it was. And to be honest with you, by the end of it, of the 4 or 5 days hiking, I was like, wow, this is so unbelievably beautiful. It's such a good introduction to the nature of Catalonia. You could be hiking for as much as you want, but we were doing 2-3 hours, 4 hours a day or something. And you can literally just stop off at these little cute little towns, the little beaches, the calas, eat good food, and the views to the right as you go up, you got the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. And on the left, you've got these really cute little villages, countryside. It's just stunning. Really, it's just unbelievably beautiful. Like, I really recommend anyone that's in Catalonia, if you're in Barcelona, 100%, go for a weekend away. Now I've done it quite a few times and more friends and stuff like that.
So this is in Catalonia, north of Barcelona, up the Costa Brava that way?
Yes, exactly. Literally up there. Yeah. So you can take a bus for about an hour to maybe somewhere like Palafrugell. And then you just keep going up just to the south of the French border. I don't know where it technically ends, but you can just keep going for days.
That's a long stretch.
That is a long stretch, eh? Yeah, it's a really long stretch. There's books for it. I really, honestly, anyone in Barcelona, please do it. It's such a nice weekend away. Have you done it?
I have lived in Catalonia for 4 years now, 4.5 years. I am ashamed how little I know of this comunidad.
Oh, yeah?
I've been to Figueres.
Okay.
And the Cap de Creu all around there. But the Costa Brava, I know remarkably little of.
Beautiful, man. It gets a bit of a bad rep because there are some places like Lloret de Mar, like up the Costa Brava, where people go when they're 16 to get wasted. But if you go kind of ignore those ones, honestly, there's some really beautiful villages and towns, and I really recommend it. It's just a really nice few days to escape the city.
Is it suitable for kind of novatos, for people who are new to hiking and senderismo and that sort of thing?
I mean, you just take it at your own pace, but I would say so. I mean, there was a little bit up and down. Don't get me wrong, because you're on the coast, and it can be sometimes a little bit cliffy or whatever. But you will see other people doing it. I recommend to do it, between autumn, winter, spring. I wouldn't do it in the summer. You'll be having a bad time with the heat. But I've done it
And the hay fever.
And the hay fever, sure. I did it in December and also March, April, both times. Honestly, it's just perfect. The sun is out, you're not roasting hot, you're not dying from sweat. Beautiful views all the time. Just decided to stop in a nice little village, having some nice paella, some local fish, and then just carrying on up the coast, staying in a hotel or in a campsite or wherever. It is perfect for everyone. I would really recommend it.
Sold. It's on the list.
Kicking us off.
Moving up to number 9, we have the Haro Wine Festival. Are you familiar with Haro? Haro?
I don't know what Haro is.
It is the second largest city or town in the Comunidad of La Rioja.
Vale.
So obviously La Rioja internationally is synonymous with wine.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically where a bit lower ground, where the Ebro River, all the water from the mountains of the Basque region flows down into this river valley. One of the reasons why it has such good grapes there. Haro, the second largest town, has a lot of bodegas inside it. The town appears out of nowhere in a relatively flat part of the country, but there is a really big hill in the town. A lot of the bodegas are kind of built onto the side of it.
Wow, beautiful.
So really flat landscape, but then this huge big kind of rock protrusion out of it. And the bodegas, as you can imagine, kind of sandstone, all the little kind of shale tiles on top of it, looks really beautiful, really romantic. And the Haro Wine Festival takes place around late June, normally the 29th every year, and they have a Batalla de Vino. Similar to the Holi festival in Hindu culture, you throw wine at each other.
Oh, really?
A bit like La Tomatina as well in Valencia.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, you're quite drunk, and so your white shirt is covered.
How do you
in
throw
red
this wine? How do you throw this wine?
We're going to go find out next year when we go.
I like it.
I've not done this activity. I've discovered it quite recently, but it looks very, very good fun. I guess you kind of cup your hand, pour it in, and you throw it. Either that or like a water balloon type thing. Fill up a little balloon
Why?
full of
Oh my God.
red
Just
wine.
throwing like balloon of wine in someone's face.
Smack.
Jesus Christ, I'm not sure how I would feel about that.
There's worse things to be hit in the face by. But
I mean, yeah, that's for sure. But what? Somebody just chucks a load of wine in my face. I mean,
yeah.
that's the idea of going there. But imagine if you got like a full-on water gun and start just doing it like that.
Filled it with wine.
Yeah, that'd be class.
Or you just pour from a big
Look at
20-gallon bucket, you
this
pour
geek.
it straight into someone's head.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's do a little field trip. Field trip to Haddo to do some wine.
This June I'm busy. Next year
Let's do it next year.
we'll
Let's
do
it. I like it.
a
I like it.
Hispanophiles special. We can get our own printed shirts,
Yeah.
go,
Hispanophiles.
cover them in red
Marketing.
wine,
Yeah.
come back. Arrow, we're coming for you. Number 8.
I don't know this festival, but I know
Shall I
the
do
next
number 8
one.
then, and
Yeah,
you do number 7?
Yeah,
Okay.
you do number 8.
Number 8, this scored quite high on my list. La Feria de Sevilla. La Feria, again, it doesn't translate well into English. It just means fair.
Okay.
So something like a business convention would be a feria as well. Country fete, what we call in English. You call that a feria as well.
Okay, yeah.
La Feria de Sevilla is not like that. It has counterparts. The oldest one is in Jerez, which is down the road, and then Córdoba and Malaga also have very famous ferias. But the one in Sevilla is the best one, of course, because it's Sevilla, my old home. Its origins date back to the expulsion of the Moors, and therefore it became a reason to celebrate. But it is normally celebrated late April or May, and it is the time when they have the ladies dressed to the nines in their gorgeous flamenco outfits, the gentlemen wear the kind of riding uniforms, the short hats and the short jackets. They have their horse-drawn carts going through the city. There's live music, there's lots of bullfights. There is a tremendous amount of alcohol. And if we take a look at the Feria de Sevilla, you will see exactly why this deserves to be in the top 10.
For the,
It's not coming from
you mean for the everyone dressed up really dapper? Let's have a look. Oh wow, yeah, they really are. Look at those outfits.
Sevilla has a special place that is dedicated for the Feria de Sevilla, like an abandoned car park, that sort of thing. Just a big open space. It's got some archways that demonstrate where like the front of it is, and those are illuminated come the actual event. And each of those spaces in the Feria space, they have what's called casetas on them. And casetas are like little tents, basically, little huts. You can only enter with invitation.
Oh, really?
So the big companies have their own casetas. The big kind of political parties have them as well. Some of the newspapers have them. There are a couple of public ones, but it's all about being seen. It's about socializing. Sevillano culture is very clannish, and they are very image-conscious people, generally speaking. That is the culture of Sevilla. So it's about going hard, being out all day in the sun, in the heat, drinking hard with your people, and having a good time.
I love it. I love the outfits. I recommend people just to look at the outfits.
They are trying to outcompete each other in many ways.
I mean, you should see some of these guys. Look at this guy's outfit.
Well, they're matadors.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But still, that's a great outfit. And the girls, you're right, they are dressed up to the nines, as you would say, because they were about to do flamenco. Is that flamenco they're doing?
That is the dress of the Sevillana dance. The dancing Sevillana belongs to the flamenco genre, so to speak.
Okay. And you were saying that this is a festival they celebrated for kicking out the Moors.
It was. That's the origin of La Feria.
Okay.
The Andalusian ferias, yes. It was the expulsion of the Moors from the south of Spain, and that was reason to celebrate.
There we go. All right.
There we go. You can see her drinking manzanilla, which is the bone-dry sherry, one of the driest wines you'll ever find anywhere in the world. We'll be doing a sherry episode very, very soon. I used to be a salesman of this stuff.
Oh, yeah?
It is so dry, it's almost salty.
Wow, okay.
Like salty wine.
We should do a Spanish drink around Spain drink session. So we all bring, like, Catalan, Galician, Andalusian drinks, and we'll do a little taster of them.
Coming next year, brother.
Is it? Here he is. He's already one step ahead. I love it.
But,
okay.
In my opinion, La Feria de Sevilla, with a nice glass of ice-cold manzanilla, is the place to begin.
Perfect.
I did number 8. Would you like to do number 7?
Yeah, so stargazing at Timanfaya
Nailed it.
National Park in Lanzarote. Now, I've got a really beautiful memory of doing this, maybe, 3 or 4 years ago with my partner. It is just, there's very little light pollution. Honestly, the entire area is just stunning, eh? Like, it's like this rocky, obviously, it used to be a load of volcanoes there with Lanzarote. And again, Lanzarote gets a load of grief. But if you go away from the Lanzarote part, where all the drunken Brits, with all due respect, are, the rest of the island is absolutely stunning. It's like a kind of like just this volcanic, rocky unbelievably beautiful, deserted landscape. You can rent a car out for the day. Lots of beautiful little villages you can stay in, like an overnight. I remember getting a really nice Airbnb, and they even had horses next door. And we were just like having a nice beer on a terrace with the views of one of these volcanoes. Well, and above you, just zero light pollution. Unbelievably beautiful. And you just see the stars. If you're lucky in a nice moonlit night, you can see a lot of the volcanoes silhouettes as well. It's beautiful. And I would just really highly recommend it. Really romantic trip as well.
Isn't Lanzarote still volcanic?
Probably is. I don't know actually off the top of my head, but I mean, there's so many volcanoes there that one of them is probably still active.
True.
I mean, couldn't tell you which ones, but look here in the photos. Look, see how many volcanoes there are.
Looks it, yeah.
You know what? It is because in Timanfaya, there is actually a place where you can drive to the top. And I think you can almost heat water or something like it. There's an area where there's like a really hot pool of water. God, what are they called?
Giza?
Geyser, that's it. There's a geyser where they like show you how the hot water spurts out and stuff like that. But apart from that, if you're into sports as well, really good for cycling because it's kind of like flat but with hills, not very busy with cars. Love it. Really, really top tip. Timanfaya National Park. Get a nice Airbnb away from the city, stay in a little village, take a couple of beers, watch the stars at night. You'll be really happy.
Top 10, because there are not really many landscapes like that in Europe, are there?
No, not at all. But it's so unique. So easy to get to. I mean, you fly to Lanzarote, the whole island, you can get around in about half an hour. It's just so unique, like unbelievably unique. You feel like you're almost in a sci-fi film on a different something else.
It looks like Mars, doesn't it?
Yeah. Honestly, it could be Mars. It could honestly be Mars whilst you're there. You're like,
with better food and drink.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I've never been to Mars. You don't know.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Timanfaya National Park.
Would you like to do number 6 as well?
Okay, so the Camino de Santiago. I think a lot of people know about this one. I feel like it's one of the most famous. Some of the others, not so famous, but the Camino de Santiago. Have you done it? Have you done any part of it?
I have not.
Okay.
Have you?
No. I've got a couple of friends doing it as we speak, actually. I would like to do it, but again, obviously, I feel like it's one of those times you need to do it in life when you've got a month or so of not work or other life duties, which I think isn't right now for me. But I love the idea to just, sack it all off, take your backpack and just, I think there's places along it. Now you can start off where you want, but it goes literally across the north from the French border to Santiago, in Galicia.
Well, there are many different routes.
Okay, I actually didn't know that, to be fair. Okay.
El Via del Plata goes from Sevilla up through Extremadura and Castilla y León.
You can go from that way as well. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. You can go from the south. I always just assumed from the north.
Routes, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay. But I know that people stop off at those little bunk bed houses for free, or you pay very little, and it's a really sense of community as well. You often kind of see people walking, and you become friends with them. But I've got a number of friends who've done it. They all say wonderful things. Whether I want to hike 20k every day for a month, I don't know. But I'm sure you discover yourself. But
yes.
Have you already discovered yourself there?
I've discovered myself in many ways in Spain, but none of them walking to Camino de Santiago. I've been to Santiago.
Oh, yeah.
Santiago de Compostela means, or the etymology is...
I don't know.
St. James of the Bed of Stars, Campo de Estella, which I think is of Galician origin.
That's why you've been there, because you're James, of course.
Yeah.
St. James of the Bed of Stars. And if anyone gets into James's bed, it'll be a starry night.
They'll find the devil.
Oh, God.
Top 5.
Top 5. We've hit the top 5.
And we are going from the northwest back down to the southwest. We are going to one of my favourite cities in all of the Iberian Peninsula and to one of my favourite bars. It is, of course, Jerez de la Frontera, the Sherry City, and we're going to Tabanco El Pasaje. Now, this is a tiny bar. Everything's dusty.
Yeah.
Everything's watermarked. You've got a really big mahogany bar on which the barman, he doesn't just keep a tab on his tablet or on his computer. With a piece of chalk, he writes down the drinks you've consumed so far.
Okay.
The other side of it, at the back, you've got a tiny showroom, a tiny performance area with a stage, and in this bar, on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays, I believe, you get the up-and-coming talent from the world of flamenco, guitarists, singers, musicians, dancers, performing for free, and for the people of Jerez de la Frontera.
For free?
Yeah, it is a small bar. It's difficult to get in. When it really gets packed, when there's a big performer, you ain't going to get in if you're not there on time.
Okay.
But they have mirrors kind of over the bar and toward the back of the facility, so you can be stood a bit further away and you can still see the spectacle. I'll see if I can get some video footage on top of the audio right now. And for me, it is, I love Andalusia, I love flamenco, I love pretty much everything that comes from the south of Spain. What I like about flamenco is I think disagree with me if you'd like, but I would describe it as folk music. I'm not entirely sure how I would articulate what I think folk music is, but I think flamenco belongs to it.
Okay,
But
I see your
compared,
rationale.
but compared to weird Morris dancing and pan flutes from Peru, whatever, there's like the young people of Andalusia really take to flamenco
Okay,
and they perform it, they sing it, they know it, it is theirs. And in a way that I don't think you would see in certainly a lot of the Anglo-Saxon countries. Like no one in Germany cares about folk music in the way in which Andalusians care about flamenco. And for me, this is the place. If you're visiting Andalusia, if you're visiting Spain, you can go to the Plaza de España in Seville. You can go to some like professional place here in Barcelona and Madrid, but you're going to get the real vibe, the real legitimate performance. For me, the Banco del Pasaje, that is my favorite spot.
okay, that's a great shout out. I like that. I'm gonna steal that one for sure. And how many times have you been there?
I've probably been there about 5 or 6 times, I think.
And
to
do you have
the
like a
Banco del
really
Pasaje.
memorable night from one night that you like some famous guy or
In terms of performance, I go for the sherry to be more than anything else. I love the stuff, but no, every time I go, I don't know enough about the technical side of music to be able to spot good from bad performance.
Okay,
But I know I love the passion. Flamenco, it doesn't follow the kind of pop music structure of 4 beats per bar, 4 bars per verse. It's kind of like 5 beats and it'll go to 7, then I'll go back to 5. And it feels like it's improvised, but because the percussionists, the dancers, the vocalists, their actions complement each other. Therefore, it can't be entirely improvised because they're doing the kind of the opposite side of each other. But it is so complex, but so beautiful, and it's just literally one guy stamping on the floor, a couple of people clapping, one guy with a guitar, 2 people singing. That's it,
and it works.
and it conveys so much emotion, so much trauma, and so much pain. Oh, I love it! I love it.
Amazing.
I adore flamenco.
Okay, so shall we go to number 4?
Let's do it.
Castell's competition. Do you want to explain to the viewers what a Castell is?
It is a human tower.
Yeah, that is
the best way I think I can describe
I'm
it.
trying to imagine now how people would imagine it because obviously we're now used to it. But like if somebody told me
A
that
consensual human tower. It's not like a medieval torture method. No, it's not that.
Have you ever seen the Human Centipede? It's a vertical version of that. That's what James is trying to say. No, it's amazing. Honestly, I have to say fair play to the Catalans because they really get into it. And effectively, long story short, is imagine an onion as a base layer, but the rings are made up of people. Then at the layer above, you've almost got a smaller onion on top of that, again with rings of people, and they're on top of they're standing on the people below them, and it keeps going up. So it keeps getting thinner, like a tower or pyramid, probably a pyramid.
Yeah.
The base part is more looks like a pyramid, but then it gets really crazy at like level 4 or something. So maybe level 3 or 4, where everyone's standing on top of each other, but then it'll suddenly go to like an individual level column should we say, where then suddenly you've got all these young kids climbing on top of each other, getting higher and higher, getting to maybe like I don't know, maybe like 9 people are up there sometimes.
It's several stories high.
Several stories high. It's unbelievable, and these kids are scrambling up top of each other trying to get to the top. I mean, there's always like this process. So there's one kid going at a time. He gets above one kid, then another kid climbs. He gets on top of him, and he keeps going until they reach the top, and the lights start. Whoa, let's see how long we can hold it for. But it's unbelievable to watch. It's unbelievable from a health and safety aspect. I don't know who came up with it. It's kind of funny sometimes in a really mean way to see when they topple because it's like, oh, they're gonna go, no. But it's all done in a nice way. It's not funny, but I don't know. It's kind of like entertaining, I guess.
There is some Schadenfreude relief there as well.
What's Schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude, the pleasure and misfortune of others. Like watching You've Been Framed.
Okay.
Or YouTube compilations of kids being hit by footballs and things.
This podcast, I tell you what, James, you are smashing them out. But yeah, I really recommend anyone, and to be fair, it's true to go to a smaller town. They do it in Barcelona, but what's really amazing about Catalonia and probably other places about Spain is they take a lot of pride in their towns and their local traditions. And each tiny little village, each town will have its own Castell team group, and it'll be male, female, different ages. It's a fantastic community spirit thing because everyone gets together. There's a band that plays at the same time. It's just one of those things where if you're walking around in these small towns and you just happen to walk upon this, you'd be like, what is going on here? Like, what is going on here? It's such a crazy thing to see. And these kids have got balls of steel because, oh my God, like the things they're climbing 9 people high. And when they're going to go, and they always go, they can climb down, but I don't think that happens too often. They often tumble. Fair play to them. Honestly, fair play.
How are they protected from injury when they fall?
They have like little helmets, don't they?
No, because the associations, we're talking like 50 plus people, like big groups of people.
Yeah,
all wearing the same colour t-shirts. That's how you define them. And they compete against each other in, I guess you could call them matches, cast-as matches.
Yeah.
And they will have a huge amount of people kind of pushing against the base layer to form a sort of blanket of people who can catch anyone who's falling.
Yeah, exactly, like a foundation. So that would be the bottom of the onion, so to speak, if that makes sense of the different layers. But yeah, it's true, it's a competition ultimately as well.
And how do you win?
The higher the kid, the more points you get. We should try it out. That could be another field trip. Let's see how many of us can do it. Let's see how high we can get up. We can make it 2 in 1. We do the drinking sherry thing, and then we try this afterwards.
At the Harrow Wine Festival.
3 in 1. There we go. Perfect.
Throwing bottles of wine from the top of a castles.
I love it. We should do that.
Stay high, Catalonia.
So what have we got here? Number 3.
Number 3. This is what I think people were expecting to be on the list. It is, of course, known in English as the running of the bulls. We are going to Navarra for the San Fermin festival, normally the first half of July. This is in Pamplona, one of the amazing medieval cities in a rugged, harsh terrain, and this is where they have, normally from 8 o'clock in the morning every day during the week of the San Fermin festival, a bunch of people, normally men, normally stupid, a lot of them foreign, dress in all white with sneakers for running. The reason why will become apparent soon. With a little kind of scarlet or blood red neckerchief around them. The streets are blocked off. There are a few kind of fences and things you can climb over for a quick getaway if need be. But otherwise the streets are blocked off, and about 10 fully grown male bulls are released onto the streets in the direction of these men dressed in white and red. And the objective, quite simply, is to not die. You run through the streets ahead of these bulls with obviously the huge big horns coming to get you. And
some people do fail in that objective. Some people do die. You know, I think I don't know when the last time someone died, but
it's not. I should have done that research. It's not every year, but it is not infrequent. It's not uncommon. It is honestly normally the stupid Aussie, British, American, Irish tourists who are doing it for the thrill.
Like, way lads, let's outrun these bulls. It's going to be great. And then they get gored and die in front of thousands of people, national TV, embarrassingly. As they can't get more embarrassing than that, to be quite frank.
I think a lot of it is just bravado. It's trying to be in front of the bulls for longer than you need to. The locals who are doing it quite a lot know when it's time to kind of jump out of the street and over the kind of the barrages, over the fences to get out of the way.
Would you do it?
Oh my God, yeah. I would love to do San Fermin.
Yeah, I mean, but
absolutely.
Would you run with the bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I really want to do it.
Mate,
I really want to do
it. You
it.
need to get that cardio going, eh? I mean...
Beg your pardon?
You need to hit the gym a bit more, lad. Nah.
I'm not a triathlete like this guy, but I'm a decent middle distance runner.
Right? Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about the sprinters, and I can out. To be fair, I think there's a point where you're not out sprinting a ball anyway, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Would you actually do the running?
Yes. I really, really want to.
I don't know. You'd be like one of these proper tourists, mate. Like, I don't know. Really?
I'm in Padronado. I'm not a tourist.
Okay.
I'm more Spanish than anybody.
Yeah, you are. So, yeah, James over here. Nah, it looks like a nice party, but it's not really my cup of tea. I don't think
it is. I anticipate it's for kind of reasons of animal welfare and, dare I say it, health and safety. It's one of those things where I can anticipate it becoming like more pressure being placed on it. I don't think it'll disappear in my lifetime, but at some point I can foresee it becoming it dying as a tradition. So I want to be able to say I've done it.
That's fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
Before I die.
And I can't wait to read about it in the newspapers.
Are you going to do what do they call it? A speech when someone dies? What's that called?
It might just be a comedy speech.
A 7-minute stand-up.
Here lies James. Not only do most people know about it, we even did a podcast about it. Talk about foreshading.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. He died doing what he loved.
He did. Running away from a bull.
What's number 2?
Las Fives de Valencia. Wow,
Yes.
talking about being drunk Brit somewhere. This was one of the most drunk nights of my life.
I'm listening.
Oh my God, man. It was, I have to say it was what, about 10 years ago? I must have, no, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. I was about 23, 24. I went to go visit my first ever flatmate from Barcelona moved down there. So he invited me down. Little did I know really what this festival was about. I think I went down there a bit naively. Getting off the train was like entering World War III. It was like full on bombs being blown off. It felt like with all the noises, the kids running around with their little fireworks in their hand, throwing them on the floor. And this was the start before it even really kicks off. By the end of it, I was like, I think I've got PTSD after this. I was like, what is going on? You couldn't walk down the street without boom and smash and blowing up and people laughing and screaming and whatever. It is an interesting event. Have you been?
I've been, yeah.
What did you think?
This was my number one on my list.
Oh, really?
This,
Oh, yeah.
this, I have not had much more fun in Spain than Las Fives de Valencia.
Was it for one night you went, or?
I was there from Friday to Sunday evening.
Oh, you did it right. You did it hard, mate.
Yeah, and I saw the end event when they set these things on fire. Should we explain what it is?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So Las Fives de Valencia, we don't know when it began. We know it was medieval, and it is a celebration of Saint Joseph, who I believe is the patron saint of Valencia city.
Okay.
Generally speaking, you will get these organizations dotted about the city, so in different barrios and different neighborhoods, organizations of just people, just regular citizens, who come together to create ninots. Ninots?
Create
Ninots.
Okay, ninots.
They are huge wax figures, the base of which I think is wood, and they build elaborate wax floats around them.
Mm-hmm.
The floats don't move; they kind of sit in their bit of the city. The streets get closed. They erect bars. They erect places for food or whatever, and the entire city becomes like an art museum, an exhibition center. You go and you look at these things, and every day, I think for 2 weeks, next to the town hall, the ayuntamiento, is what's called La Mascleta. Do you know what that is? Do you remember that?
No idea what that is.
It's more or less what you're describing. They have a firework parade in the day.
Okay.
I was there, it would have been about 2 or 3 p.m. And again, you've got loads of really big stone walls either side of you that just reverberate sound and create huge echoes. It is just like explosions all around you. And the idea is just to make as much noise as possible in the city centre.
That's for sure.
It was unbelievable. I like loud rock concerts and and big, kind of car events, that sort of thing. It was unbelievable. I enjoyed it so much. And at the end of the event on the Saturday evening, all of these beautiful ninots, these 5 meter, 10 meter tall wax creations, are set on fire. And they burn to the ground
at the same time, or is it
pretty much? Yeah.
So you can just you'll see something happening, and you'll just see them go down.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say,
it takes a couple hours to burn the whole thing.
Yeah.
But...
No, honestly, it was an experience. I'm glad I went. Will I go back? No.
Why not?
No, I don't know. Also, to be fair, I'm not one for big crowds.
Okay.
So I mean, and it's a crowdy place, and it's a loud, noisy place. So bombs are going off. Bombs, fireworks. What do you call those things you throw on the floor? You know what I mean? It's like a
Is
that something out of Harry Potter almost?
Firecrackers.
Firecrackers is probably a good thing, but like really loud. So I mean, I'm glad I did
something out of Harry Potter.
You know, they got the firecrackers.
Broomsticks.
I don't know. They got like the things they throw. I don't know. Who knows? My Harry Potter knowledge is not that great, but incredibly busy, incredibly loud.
But the quality of those sculptures or the creations, and just where else in the world do you have something like this? It's
that's
so unique, so beautiful.
Like I say, go one time.
Historic thing, you know.
Yeah, go one time. Would you go back?
My God, yeah.
Why haven't you gone back? You should go back.
It is expensive to get accommodation during the time, but
yeah, I can imagine.
It was only a couple of years ago I last went.
No, it's an experience. I can see why it should be a bucket list experience for sure, 100%.
But that brings us to the final item on our list. The number one bucket list item that you should do in Spain. What is it, Alex?
We've got down camping in the Picos de Europa.
Yes.
I've not done it. I can't lie, but it's actually been on my bucket list for a long time because it just looks so beautiful. A lot of my friends have done it. Have you done it?
I've been to Asturias. I've been close to the Picos de Europa. The Picos de Europa is a 20-kilometer mountain chain, only getting to about 2.6 kilometers at its height. It's not particularly high, but I think snow-capped all year round. It more or less marks the southern historic border of Asturias, which is one of the reasons why it's been able to be so independent for so long, why it's been a principality. I think I'm right in saying this might be wrong. It is the only province of Spain that was never conquered by the Moors.
Oh yeah.
And the Picos would have been one of the reasons why they were able to defend themselves
I mean, for
for
sure.
so long. And it's a combination of the Yosemite, it's a combination of our Scottish Highlands, it's a combination of the Alps. It's absolutely beautiful. And the last place where you find native bears in Western Europe. Do you know that? Yeah.
I don't know about the bears. Now I'm questioning if I should go.
The Cantabrian brown.
I mean, a brown bear is okay, isn't it? You still don't
Yes.
mess with it, but no, actually, brown bears are really bad. Black bears, you can kind of like hope to survive. Brown bears are pretty.
Grizzlies are brown bears in the US, aren't they?
Yeah.
But this is a smaller version of the grizzly, and I think it's
Okay. I mean, so it's still like
either
twice
way.
my size.
Do not go out your way to interact with wild bears. That is not a smart thing to do.
But either way, how cool! I honestly did not know there were bears there.
Yeah.
How really? I really did not know that.
Catalonia has bears as well.
No, it doesn't.
The Pyrenees, yes, it does. The Pyrenees
Oh,
has
the
bears.
Pyrenees. Okay, maybe yeah.
Aragon, Navarra, and
So,
Catalonia. But
okay.
Spain imported them from the Balkans. It's a Balkan bear.
Not a Spanish bear.
Yeah.
No. Just give it a Google. You Google that place, and you will want to go straight away. I can imagine how beautiful it is. A hiking holiday. You know.
Clean, green, verdant, luscious, and just the culture of nearby Asturias. You've got bagpipes, you've got cider, and these little farmhouses where you can just, as you're walking along on one of the hiking trails, stop and have an incredibly good rustic lunch of hearty ingredients, good ham, good cheese, nice big thick dry pieces of bread, and a bit of cider to wash it down.
You know what I like, James? I was really ticking a lot of my boxes right there. Honestly. That does sound pretty good. I'm going to see what holidays we've got coming up and maybe book a little camping trip to the Picos of Europe we're in.
I'm down.
Done.
Right. And we've reached the end of our list.
Amazing. Top 10 bucket list things, guys. You should write in the comments how many of the 10 you've done. Let's see if anyone's done all 10.
And is there anything that you guys think we've missed from our list of bucket list items here in Spain? Please let us know. But Alex, thank you very much for your time, my good sir.
Very happy to come back, James. I'll be here again whenever you need me. But I learned a lot, as always, with Hispanophiles.
Pleasure's all mine. The next one will be number 4. From the 5th one, I owe you a shot of ratafia.
I'm definitely down for that one.
Before we end, we have to do our final segment, which is our Spanish suggestion of the week. Alex, what have you got for us?
Our Spanish suggestion of the week is... Okay, so... ... A little bit of an out one there. Going to the Canary Islands as well. I would recommend, if you're into skydiving above Gran Canaria. When you do it, you get to see the whole of the island. So let's say if you're going to skydive maybe somewhere inland or something, you will obviously see some beautiful views. But there's something about seeing a whole island when you jump out of a plane and you see the whole island below you and you're you're parachuting and aiming for it. It's such a unique experience. And of course, there's smaller islands in the world where you can do it, but Gran Canaria is relatively accessible for most people. The weather's great all year round. I survived it, so the odds are you'll probably be all right. That would be my random suggestion for Spain, something to do in Spain.
That's another bucket list item right there.
There we go, absolutely.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you soon on another episode of Hispanophiles Travel in Spain with only half a brain. Thank you.
Look at him. They've all got one. Loads of them have got it. That's what they do it with.
Oh, he's got
Oh,
some drums for some reason.
she's got it. He's got it. That's actually what they do it with then. Look. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing there, but there you go.